A lot of homeowners don't realize how serious slope erosion can become until they start seeing visible damage on their property. At first, it might just look like dirt washing downhill after a storm, but over time, erosion can lead to drainage problems, damaged landscaping, unstable slopes, retaining wall failure, and even foundation issues. In more severe situations, uncontrolled erosion can contribute to mudslides and serious structural damage. That's why erosion control is something homeowners should pay attention to early. The first thing to understand is what actually causes erosion in the first place. Most slope erosion happens because water runoff moves too quickly downhill and carries soil away with it. But water isn't the only factor. Wind, poor drainage, construction activity, foot traffic, and a lack of vegetation can all make slopes more vulnerable to erosion over time. And once the protective topsoil begins disappearing, the problem usually accelerates. One of the easiest and most effective ways to reduce erosion is mulch. Mulch creates a protective barrier over the soil that helps absorb rainfall, reduce runoff, and keep moisture levels more consistent. It also helps protect the soil surface from direct rain impact, which reduces soil displacement during storms. And as organic mulch breaks down, it can improve soil quality and help support healthier vegetation growth. Another extremely important solution is vegetation. Plants are one of nature's best erosion control systems. Ground cover plants, grasses, shrubs, and trees all help stabilize slopes by anchoring the soil with their root systems. And native plants tend to work especially well because they're naturally adapted to the local environment and usually require less maintenance. Trees and shrubs also help slow rainfall before it even reaches the ground, which reduces the force hitting the soil surface. Another thing homeowners often overlook is soil compaction. When slopes experience excessive foot traffic, vehicle traffic, or heavy equipment use, the soil can become compacted. Compacted soil doesn't absorb water effectively, which increases runoff and makes erosion worse. That's why protecting soil structure is such an important part of long-term slope stability. In some cases, slopes need additional reinforcement beyond vegetation alone. That's where erosion control blankets and geotextiles can help. These materials are installed directly over exposed soil to stabilize the slope while vegetation becomes established underneath. They're especially useful on newly graded slopes or areas where erosion is already active. Water management is another major part of erosion prevention, because honestly, uncontrolled water flow is usually the real issue. That's why drainage systems are so important. Swales, French drains, dry wells, and water diversion systems are all designed to slow water down and redirect it safely away from the vulnerable areas. A French drain, for example, uses gravel and a perforated pipe to move groundwater away from the slope before it can saturate the soil. Dry wells help capture runoff and allow it to slowly infiltrate into the ground instead of rushing downhill. And swells help spread water out across the landscape rather than concentrating it into damaging runoff channels. Another effective method is drip irrigation. Traditional sprinkler systems can sometimes create excessive runoff on slopes, but drip irrigation delivers water slowly and directly to plant roots, which helps reduce erosion while conserving water at the same time. For steeper slopes, homeowners sometimes need stronger structural solutions. Terracing is one option. Terraces create flat, stepped sections along the slope that slow water flow and create more stable planting areas. Riprap is another common method. This uses large rocks or stone to break up water flow and protect vulnerable soil underneath. And in more severe situations, retaining walls may be necessary. Retaining walls physically hold back soil and help stabilize steep slopes where erosion or movement has become a significant concern. But one thing homeowners should understand is that there's no universal solution for every slope. The right erosion control strategy depends on several factors. How steep is the slope? What type of soil is present? How much rainfall does the property receive? Is water pooling somewhere? Are nearby structures being affected? All of those things matter when determining the best long-term solution. At Dalinghaus Construction, when we inspect erosion problems, we're not just looking at surface damage. We're trying to understand why the slope is failing in the first place. Because treating symptoms without correcting the underlying water and soil issues usually leads to recurring problems. The good news is that many erosion problems can be controlled successfully when addressed early and with the right strategy. If you're noticing soil movement, drainage problems, unstable soils, or erosion around your property, it's a good idea to have it professionally evaluated before the damage becomes more extensive. At Dalinghaus Construction, we help homeowners throughout Southern California and Arizona protect their homes, slopes, and foundations with long-term erosion control and stabilization solutions. If you have concerns about slope erosion or drainage on your property, contact us today for a free inspection. I'm Justin with Dalinghaus Construction, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next home improvement guide.